Hi everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to find the greatest common factor for a number. So the example I have is, what is the greatest common factor of 12 and 8? So the greatest common factor is the greatest factor that can divide into two numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to find what can go into 12 and what can go into 8 and what's the greatest number that can go into each. So first we're going to look at 12. So we have 12 and we need to figure out what all can go into 12. So we know 1 can go into 12, 2 can go into 12, 2 times 6, 3 can go into 12, 3 times 4, so that means 4 can go into 12, and 6, and then finally 12. So then we look at 8, and we know that 1 can go into 8, 2 can go into 8, 4 can go into 8, and 8 can go into 8. So then now that we have all of that, we know that the greatest common factor of 12 and 8, so we'll have 12 and 8 is, so you look at both of the numbers and you see what is the number that is the greatest that they both have in common. So we can see that 4 is the number that they both have in common. That is their greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor for that would be 4. So then now we're going to talk about least common multiples. So the example I have is, what is the least common multiple of 18 and 12? And so the least common multiple of a number is the smallest number that these two numbers are factors of. So we're going to try to find what the least common multiple of these numbers are. So to do this, I would start out by having 18 over here and 12 over here, and we're just going to factor them just to see what numbers go into each. So we know that 18 is 2 times 9, and then we know that 9 is 3 times 3, and that's about as far as you can go. So you have 2, 3, and 3. And then for 12, we know that 12 is 2 times 6, and then you can't go any farther than 2, so you have 6, or sorry, I shouldn't have circled that, but then you have 3 times 2. So you have 2, 3, and 2. Ignore the 6. So now we want to figure out what is the least common multiple of these numbers. So how I would do this is, so I want to find the least common multiple of 18 and 12. So we'll put a little equal sign there. So we know that for it to add up to 18, or to multiply to 18, that it has to have a 2, a 3, and a 3. So we're going to go ahead and add this down here. So 2 times 3 times 3. So then it also has to go into 12. So we know that it has to be 2 times 3 times 2. So this has 2 2's and this has 2 3's. So we already have the 1 3 of 12 taken care of. And we already have 1 2 taken care of, but we need to add another 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to just slide this in right there. So we have the 2 there. And so then that all adds up. So then if you need to check your work to make sure that you're doing it correctly, you can check it by this. So you can do that and you know that that's 18. And then you can do this and you know that that's 12. So they both work. So then you'll multiply all this together to get 36. You can just plug it into your calculator. And 36 would be your final answer. So your least common multiple would equal 36. And that's how you do greatest common factors and least common multiples. Hooray!